would be to revert to a earlier version of Windows, basically before it installed the update.
All right, Brandon, we are officially on the live stream, so I'm going to go ahead and say hello to anybody who is watching the live stream. Thank you for joining us. Tonight we're going to be playing some Final Fantasy, and we're going to record our podcast. So if you're watching this now or after the fact, the conversation as follows is also a podcast. Yes.
Oh my god. You know, I guess I should wait for the show, but I didn't actually really look at those can covers that closely.
You didn't?
I mean, I looked at it and I saw, it's like, God, what a horrible gimmick. But then now I'm like really looking at it and seeing what's on it, and like, do they not realize who they're? I mean, I guess a lot of those same type of people watch sports and do that type of gaming, but it's still a little bit of a stretch because those people are more Call of Duty and not Battlefield.
Right.
But whatever.
Yeah, save it for the podcast, because I'm going to go all off on how fucking weird that thing is. Because there's a lot of problems with that image. One that you can go ahead and start thinking about a counter to is the fact that I think it's really presumptuous of them to think that any Star Wars fan is all Star Wars fans are specifically only going to like the Pats or the Cowboys.
Oh, that's the only two? I thought that was just examples.
I mean, how many do you think they could really make?
I was thinking there would be one for every team, but I guess not.
Let's look this up real fast.
That is very presumptuous. And we're not even talking. And that's not even to mention the groaning statements on the one for the Cowboys.
Oh, I know, right?
I read that. I was like, oh, it's like, that is horrible.
You know, if you look this up on Google, you can't even find it.
Are we sure it's real?
That's from an actual advertisement from GameStop.
Okay.
Let's look at GameStop's website. Let's see. I know
that's where I'm at. I don't see it, and I was like, I don't see that.
Yeah, look at their ad specifically.
That's sad.
While I pull this up, I'm gonna load my save file. It's like I was like, you know, I entertained the thought of buying this game at launch, and then I was like, no, fuck you, no, yeah. no.
Pre-order low price guaranteed. Yeah, like the game's gonna go down in price.
Yeah, seriously.
Did you see that Amazon changed their that savings you get as a Prime member for new games?
Oh, we talked about it on the podcast a while back.
I can't remember. It still galls at me. I was like, what a really dumb move, because I can go to Best Buy, spend basically the same type of money to get their membership, and get 20% off new games whenever I feel like it.
Alright, well, I'm going to get this party going on the live stream by summoning the devil to force him to yield to my will.
Great. Now that I've searched David Lynch on Amazon, I got an entire thing. Because you viewed this item, we're going to try to peddle David Lynch stuff on you.
Yeah, good luck with that, Amazon.
Yeah. And there's Dan Aykroyd. $27.99.
Dan Aykroyd costs $27.99.
Racerhead, yeah, it does.
Gotcha. Wow.
The Criterion Blu-ray.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you want to start the show this week?
Sure.
Okay, you can start the show this week.
Are you ready to start?
I'm ready to start. Are you ready to start?
I am ready to start.
All right, then start already.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting week of the Z Trigger Podcast. I am your host, Brandon Harris.
And I am the other host, William L.
Yes, that would make us co-hosts.
Co-hosts.
The co-owners.
We own so much with this podcast, don't we?
Yes.
Anyway, how you doing tonight, Brandon?
So glad that the week is over. It may not be for you, but I am certainly happy to have the next 2 days off and not deal with any more people than I have to.
I hear you there. I've still got one more day before my week of vacation starts.
A whole week?
I have 8 days of no retail work whatsoever coming up for me.
I remember you got off some time off for the wedding thing. I didn't realize you were taking a whole vacation after that.
Oh yeah, the wedding was last weekend. It's all about hanging out with Joe and playing video games and watching movies this week. So anyway, what kind of games you been playing this week?
Well, last week I spent most of the time playing Stardew Valley. This time around, I shifted to Prey, one of the mini games that I picked up recently, and I can say that I have thoroughly enjoyed what I've played so far. It is very much inspired by the mini style of horror shooters that I have enjoyed. You know, System Shock, BioShock, same family. Even you can't. It's not a horror shooter, but even to a bit of Deus Ex, it really does draw huge amounts of inspiration from them. It's almost like this studio was actually made up of the people who made those games, and they just decided to make, a spiritual successor to all these older games. The game starts out gloriously it sets up this ominous vibe just right out the get-go, and it's great. The creatures are, the mimics especially, are great. I love the mimic because they don't just come at you. They will try and hide and hit you from behind, or basically get you while you're not paying attention to them, as they're disguising themselves as just random objects. So you have to sort of pay attention to your environment, because if there's like two random objects that are just sitting next to one another, that doesn't seem like there should be two objects there, that then more than likely one of them is a mimic. But I am finding that they're a little bit more intelligent to do that. I've only encountered that happening like once. Most of the time they just take up a random, like a coffee mug just sitting on a table. You're not really going to pay attention to the coffee mug until it's too late. But other than that, I have played around with the there's sort of there's not sort of, there is a crafting system, which when I first started the game I guess I really didn't know that much about, because I was just picking up this random bits of trash like lemon peels, banana peels, crumpled pieces of paper, and I'm like, seriously, man, I know Resident Evil encouraged people to pick up these random objects because they were going to be used later, but this is taking it to the extreme. What am I going to use a crumpled piece of paper for? And then I eventually got to a room where there was a recycler, and you take these worthless objects and you create materials that you can use to create all kinds of different things. There's this thing called fabrication plans, and they allow you to create different items. As so far, I've got stuff for shotgun shells, silent pistol ammo, glue gun ammo. I think that's how that is. GLOO. I say glue.
Yeah, I say glue gun. I mean, that's weird, but
yeah. Which that gun's interesting. It shoots out this foam-like stuff that you can. It has various applications. Say you're in a room and there's a gas pipe that's been busted and it's shooting out flame. Well, just take your glue gun and shoot it, and now you have plugged the hole. And if you were to go there, because you can destroy this foam, and if you destroy it, the flame will come back. Same thing. I ran into a spot where there was a machine, and there was electricity shooting out of it, zapping everything. And if you walked up to it, it would zap you too for a lot of health. You can shoot that, and voila, it's problem solved for a little bit before it overloads and explodes and starts venting out electricity again. But still, it's got applications. You can also hit your alien foes with it, and it will temporarily immobilize them, so you can go with your wrench and bash them over the head with it. There's also a weapon modification system, which I haven't been able to explore yet because it's locked behind an upgrade. There's the game sort of centered around this thing called Noire mods, and basically it's taking abilities and say like a mechanic. You can take this mechanic skill and transfer it to this Noire mod and install it into people, and thus you have this vast knowledge of repair or mechanical repair work that you can apply to repairing various things and eventually start disassembling objects and all kinds of stuff. One of the things to let's see, what was I talking about? I can't remember what object I was talking about. Anyway, weapon modifications are locked behind one of these paywalls. Also, hacking's in there, and health upgrades, and packing, of course. This is where the Deus Ex influence comes from, with all the different modifications you can do to yourself. It's sort of the same thing here. Right now, you start off with like a medical section, a scientist, engineering, and there's one other. I can't remember what it is. Eventually, though, as you go through the game, more will be added, and you can start applying the alien abilities to yourself. Like you can yourself start doing what the mimics do and hiding yourself as random objects to hide, to do what they do. Or you can basically become a psionicist and start exploding things with your mind. It's just all kinds of fun things you can eventually do. So the game also has like a little class system that you can create depending on how you would like to play the game. Thankfully, the Noire mods...
Brandon, you need to stop making me want to buy this game.
No, the game's great. If a person has not played it, they should definitely eventually go out and buy it. I managed to get it at Gamestop, one of GameStop sales, so I got it like for $30. And it's been a great purchase so far. I've not gotten very far because it's also a semi-open world. It's basically like open levels that you can go to at your leisure, as long as you have access to the level, the section of the world. You can go there, like, because everything's locked behind key cards and passcodes, and which you have to find these key cards, and you have to rummage around people's computers and find codes. There's safes all over the place, and it's fun to sit there and try to figure out where I have to go to find this code. One of the goals is to get to your office, and you watch this video, and in this video is a character is standing in this room, and over the side is a dry erase board with a code. You can actually go to this room earlier in the game, but the passcode's erased with the safe the passcode goes to that being there. So you learn the code there, and you can back travel to get the stuff that's in the safe. So you even get backtracking, and I love that aspect because I love backtracking. That's one of my favorite things about Resident Evil is the fact that, hey, I found this key. Let's go back to the beginning of the game and see what extra doors I can go through. But that's what you can do here. Let's see, what else is there? Of course, there's and then there's the story, which I haven't gotten through very far, but so far it's been great. Very horror sci-fi. It's nailed that stuff to a T. I definitely see the System Shock vibe there because you're on this, you're in this place that's been overrun by this alien race. Though I know in System Shock it was a computer, here it's aliens, but they've taken over everything, and they will fucking kill you if you're not careful.
I just have one important question.
What?
Do you still go to a weird eagle-filled afterlife to hunt eagles?
All the Native American stuff is gone. This prey has no resemblance besides the aliens. Even though they're not the same aliens.
I won't lie.
No resemblance.
That's a bit of a shame.
It is a disappointment because I did enjoy that game, but I am happy with what they turned it into.
It's so funny. Early in Last Generation, that wasn't the only game, but it was a couple of games that really tried to do something different with game over. You don't just die and pray, or what was it, Too Human?
Yes.
You suffer death.
Well, see, in Too Human you didn't. That one, this game over really wasn't game over. It was just a Valkyrie would descend, raise you up, and just take you back just a little bit in the level, and without any punishment, and you just kept going.
Yep. And there was also the Prince of Persia reboot that they tried to do.
Is that where you can backtrack time?
No. That's where the girl would be like, "Oh, you fell. Let me pull you up, and here you are, right back at the ledge." Yeah,
I remember. Yeah, I remember that too. And a lot of people didn't like that aspect.
No. Well, I mean, it made death meaningless.
Yeah, and which the original Prey didn't do that. You just had to basically go through a different level to get back to where you were. But no, that does not appear in this one. You die, and I have died because I got surrounded by 4 mimics. And another thing that the AI will do is if there is a phantom nearby, the mimic will go and get him.
Oh, damn.
4 mimics and a phantom will kill you. Because especially if you don't have a gun. At the time, all I had was my glue gun and a wrench. While the wrench will do damage, not enough to take out 5 enemies before they kill you. Yeah, in a war, the mimics are not afraid of you. They will assault you. When they're by themselves, they will try and evade and sneak up from you behind. So yeah, the game great. I strongly recommend anybody who can handle that type of stuff can go. It even has a little bit of a collectathon. This place was was occupied by a bunch of people. So one of the things I don't quite understand why they didn't really give an explanation of why you should do this, but you can look up into various computers, like security computers, and track people down. So far, they're all been dead. I'm assuming that eventually I might find someone alive. But yeah, you can go and track down all the crew members that are, people who worked here at this place. So it's got a lot of different things, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And I still haven't gotten very far because I'm stuck. Because the game takes place in space.
Right.
I'm stuck because one place I need to get to has been depressurized because a fucking hole got blown out into the side. So I'm trying to find basically a jetpack to install on my system so I can go snake around in space. That should be fun. But yeah, other than that, I'm really looking forward to getting to the alien abilities, because I would love to explode things with my mind, because that's always fun. Yeah.
Oh,
There.
very cool.
And of course, other than that, I did play more Stardew Valley, just, you know, just to have something that you don't have to think about.
So, other than continuing my run of Final Fantasy VIII here on the YouTube channel, I played Mass Effect a bit more this week. I'm just past Noire now, and I'm side questing again because there is a significant amount of side quests, and that's going pretty well. I have a thing I want to point out and complain about. So, combat in the Mako is something this game seems kind of proud of, because it flaunts this around and it's like, hey, look at this, we have a combat system with our giant vehicle, you know, suck it, Halo, basically. But let me tell you something that Halo has over Mass Effect in terms of getting in your vehicle and fighting. I can drive the vehicles in fucking Halo.
I can sort of drive the vehicles in Halo. I will crash them a lot because while the driving I like more in Halo, the physics in Halo aren't exactly realistic. It's the vehicle control is almost ragdoll,
right?
Because you hit a fucking anything and you're not going to land on your feet.
No. So today, for example, I had to redo the same Geth battle station fight 4 times because I swear to God, the shields on the Mako are made out of tinfoil, and as a result, I would have basically my ending strategy was just as shitty as I freely admit how corny and bad this is, but I would I'd get close, I'd shoot and take out 1 or 2 Geth, and then I'd pull out because my shields were ruined, and then I'd go back.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't have any type of system to upgrade that damn thing.
The only thing you can really do is if you use Garrus, one of his abilities actually allows you to it allows you to increase the rate at which your shields regenerate. Still not that damn fast. Still really slow. I'll put the controller down for 5 minutes after I've driven off into a corner or something. So that's my strategy for getting through those fights. I beat a boss today that I dialed on 4 times the other day. I did it on the first try today, and that went well. So I'm done with Noire, including all the side quests. And like I said, I'm just doing side quests now. I'm trying to do all the little item collecting type stuff. Basically anything where I can play the game and just kind of keep moving forward. I've got a little less than 30 side quests, like I've said, and like I said also last week, I'm using the strategy guide to see what I have left to do. Because largely that's what I use a strategy guide for. I don't really do much in the way of there's very little I can draw from a guide at this point that I really need, unless the game is ridiculously complex. And Mass Effect's not that complex. It's just got some stuff in it, that I want to look up every once in a while. Quest lists, locations for minerals and ores and stuff for the item collection. So I know that I have 2 major sections of the game left with Pharos and Vermeer. And after that, I will be moving into what seems like a very short final 3 sections to finish the game. So maybe next week I can talk about my overall feelings on the ending. Some of the stuff that's happening in the story is pretty interesting. It's not... I hesitate to agree that this game is this brilliant science fiction role-playing game or anything. It's a pretty good game.
Yeah, I don't think it's a groundbreaking, brilliant sci-fi masterpiece. I just think it's a very entertaining sci-fi experience because, I mean, at the time we really weren't getting all that much.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
At least not like that. So, I mean, sort of I'll take what I can get. I mean, Shell, it could have been a lot worse, but...
Absolutely agree with you there. But the writing is good, it's just... I expected more, I think, because everybody talks about how this is the be-all, end-all masterpiece of video game writing and science fiction for the past decade or whatever, and I'm just like, yeah, it's pretty good, but...
I mean, I guess you just have to look at the time period and what did it have to compete against.
True, very true.
I mean, I like Halo, but I can't say that Halo's got this, you know, brilliant, deep character depth. I mean, it doesn't.
Oh, no, not at all.
So at the time, it didn't have. It was the only thing. So I can see how that would be considered true. Now, however, now that the genre has been sort of saturated, you know, it doesn't have as big of an impact. It's basically kind of like looking at the Beatles now, you know, and looking them back then. You know, of course, you know, comparing them now. No, I mean, a lot of people have done what they've done by now. So no, they're not as influential to a lot of people as they once were. So, you know, it's just a whole thing of time. I fully expect eventually somebody will try to outdo Witcher 3. It's bound to happen.
It is. I mean, it really is.
And honestly, I hope someone does. That'd be fantastic if someone can actually outdo that game. It only benefits us in the long run.
Right.
I think it'll be a long time before anybody can, because no one gives as much of a shit when it comes to story writing. So yeah, I mean, the closest thing so far would probably be Horizon. I know and a lot of people love that game. I've not. That's another game that I need to actually, you know, finish playing through. But it's an open world game, true open world game. So it's a little more difficult because I take my time with those, because you just run into doing so many mindless tasks that I get kind of burnt out. Though I don't know if that game has that, because I didn't get that far into it. But yeah, so it'll be a wait to see. But eventually, someone will create another extremely good open world RPG of some type.
Right. Who knows? It may even be the next CD Projekt Red game.
Well, that's automatically assumed. I mean, will it be hard for them to continuously hit it out of the park every time? Yeah, I mean,
hellaciously hard.
I mean, I guess people probably said the same thing about Square back in the day, and there were some people who didn't like certain games in the Final Fantasy series during that golden. Well, not everyone liked Witcher 3. It's okay to be wrong. So we all have our moments of, you know, just saying things that are stupid.
Oh no, I'm surprised that even the people who are watching the live stream, I'm surprised nobody popped up with the whole like discrediting your Beatles comment from before.
Well, I mean, it's true. I mean, yeah, are there a lot of people who like the Beatles now? Yes, but honestly, a lot of those type of people, unless they were around early enough in that time period, say like our friend David Kinzel, I feel like you're just regurgitating. I don't feel you're like a true fan. I mean, I know when I see someone who's a fan of the Beatles, they got every single damn record, and they listen and analyze that shit. A lot of people it's like, yeah, I love Let It Be, the song, or I love, you know, some of the songs from Abbey Road. They like the popular songs. To me, that's not truly liking the Beatles. That's just like most popular culture, and you're just liking certain things about it.
Right. Fandom is such a... like, fandom in general is such a weird thing nowadays, because I feel like there's a certain... I feel like the word fan has lost some of its bite, in a way. It has. Because you have people who claim to be fans of, hell, anything, and what they mean by that is, like, they watched it and they bought a bunch of pop vinyl of it. Mm-hmm. Which, goddamn, I hate pop vinyl. It's some of the ugliest, cheapest toys I've ever seen to show your, like, interest in a thing. And, you know, I've got a few little toy things that I've bought because I like stuff, and that's cool, you know. There's enjoyment to be had from this. You've got a whole damn line of damn Witcher figures and stuff, don't you?
Yep, and I mean, they have or are going to release more, but I'm like, I got the people I want. Right, and so I mean, I'm not knocking fandom in general. I just think that it's lost some of its. I think it doesn't have as much meat on its bones as it used to, because fans of stuff know their shit. You know? Mm. And I mean, they know more than the common person. Like, any asshole who could tell you, can quote Star Wars in some way, shape, or form. There's no questioning that at all. But your hardcore Star Wars fans, yeah, they know what they're talking about. They know what they're looking at. They can tell you something about Star Wars that's not common knowledge, and why they think it's better, and they can discuss the fact that it's essentially just the Joseph Campbell hero quest in space. They can really dissect what they're talking about. They know what they're doing in terms of fandom and discussion. That is not common anymore. Which is why I feel kind of out of place going to a con in some ways, because there's so many booths of fucking pop vinyl figures. And there's people running these tables that are making a shit ton of money off of the dumbest looking collectibles. Like, you want to know one of the things that caught my eye at a con some time back? Mm-hmm. They had, like firearms and weapons and stuff. And one of the things they had was, it was not finished, so it was like you had to paint it yourself. And it was Rick Deckard's gun from Blade Runner. And I fucking was like, that is the coolest goddamn thing ever. It's not even painted, and I'm like nerding the hell out, because like, I know what that is. I feel like I'm one of like 20 people in this entire damn room that does. So, I don't know, I think I kind of lost my thread on what I was saying, but I do feel like fandom has gotten this really weird, like, diet version right now. And that's not to say that everybody who's indulging in like pop vinyls and stuff isn't a fan of stuff, because I mean, I know I'm in the minority in thinking that pop vinyls are stupid, but like, I know that there are serious Game of Thrones fans out there who got to it because of the show and then went on to read the books, and they are actually fans of the thing that they say they're a fan of. And then there's people who are claiming that they're Star Wars fans, and all they really know is like, oh, I watch the movie every once in a while. It's cool that you like Star Wars. I'm not saying that you should not like Star Wars. In fact, you should abso-fucking-lutely like Star Wars. But fan used to have a different meaning, and I don't feel like it does now.
It doesn't have that same meaning now. It used to have a pretty negative connotation too in some circles. So, if nothing else, at least it's kind of taken that away from it. It's not as negative of a thing to be a fan of something. You're not looked at in the same way that you used to be looked at. Because, you know, when I was growing up, to be a big Star Wars fan was a shitty thing. You know, it's like, why the fuck do you like that? Power Rangers, man. And I thought Power Rangers was fucking terrible. I got picked on for liking fucking Power Rangers.
We gotta hate on Power Rangers.
I just thought it was fucking boring. I mean, think about it. I liked Star Wars. Star Wars, which had, you know, actors reading their lines in the original language and not some shoddy dub work, and the action looked great and wasn't silly looking like Power Rangers was. I just didn't get Power Rangers. I thought it was kind of terrible. I mean, if you like Power Rangers, good on you, man. You go enjoy that thing with the robots made of tiger faces or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, it was a weird show, but little did we know we were just getting into our Japanese stuff a little bit at a younger age.
Oh yeah, no, like it doesn't really, you know, you don't really. I didn't really think about it until you just said it. But yeah, that was kind of like the gateway drug for anime, kind of making a splash here.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people I know that has watched that show, they're like, oh yeah, I watched anime completely. Oh yeah, definitely.
Which is another thing where fandom is just odd. Now, that said, I'll give you that. Anime fans, I don't doubt them being fans, because they're serious. Anime fans are legit. They're the classic definition of fans. I hate most of the stuff they like, but man, you know they love it. You get in a conversation with those cats, and they can tell you everything that they like about anime. And then there's some that just like it because it's anime, and them, well, they're a different class altogether. Oh, how did we get on that? For so
how did we come to that?
I don't
remember. Damn, we're bad at that.
Tangents.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, you know what? I do have a bridge for one of our news topics for the night.
Was it the Star Wars thing?
No, it's about fandom though. It's about fandom and anime. It is a perfect bridge, and here we go. We're gonna get weird right out of the gate.
Oh.
So Square Enix is allowing mod support for the PC port of Final Fantasy 15, which is pretty cool. Depending on what's done with this, I might even buy the game again just so I can play a really good mod for Final Fantasy 15. That's a cool thing.
Ever since they said there was going to be mods, I'm like, now what exactly would I be modding? Like, okay, different car paints. Okay, maybe.
If somebody like threw some extra quests in there, that would be awesome. In all seriousness, I think that would be fucking amazing, because I really enjoyed Final Fantasy 15. I put 110 hours into it. I dig the hell out of that game. But Square Enix has already said they would pull support for mods if there was too much adult content.
Well, I mean, is there really that many? Is there that many female characters that they're going to do things with?
Brandon, it don't have to be female characters.
Yeah, but you got to.
This is the Final Fantasy fan base. There is a noticeably large volume of Final Fantasy fans who are into or that are gay. So
that's true. I mean, I guess I look at the other games that have fallen victim to this, and I mean, most of the time the attention is focused on the female side of things? Are there? Hell, I'm trying to think if there's any Witcher 3 mods that have Geralt running around butt naked, and there might be, but I can't recall any.
Well, I mean, you're getting into that's a different audience, really, because let's just go ahead and really just throw it out there. Japan is responsible for a lot of goddamn porn games.
Yeah.
Like, they have, like, the visual novel genre in general is the breeding ground of a lot of just, like, really cheesy porn. And
that does not show the male anatomy.
You're right, but it doesn't matter. I mean, the fact is, modding can do any number of things, and you know what? Cindy.
Well, I
say no more.
That was basically who I was referring to.
Yeah, because
that's why I was like, okay, there's her, there's Luna Freya. Yep. What other? I mean, I guess you could strip the guys, but that would I don't know.
That will appeal to some people. I mean, just saying, there's some people who are gonna get their kicks off on that, man. And it's just the thing that blows my mind is, like, there's two things about this that I really want to say. One, I think this is funny as hell.
Oh yeah.
I think it's so goddamn hilarious that Square is like, yep.
They know it's coming.
They know
it's coming.
And they didn't say they would stop it altogether. They said if it goes too far,
if it gets out of hand, and I mean, I'm like, what does that mean? How far are we going to be able to take these mods?
I mean, I don't think they want anything like some of the stuff that Spoonie pointed out during his Final Fantasy review. Like the one with Selfie and her nunchucks and so on.
So see, that's what I'm saying. It's like, how far can these mods go if I can go that far? If that's what they're worried about, I think you're giving us too powerful of a mod engine. Because you're basically saying that I can basically redo the game and make the character models do what I want them to do. That
is some pretty high-end modding. But I mean, think about it. There's the tool sets that come with the Bethesda RPGs are pretty strong, and you can do pretty in-depth, stuff, and make your own game essentially inside their game.
Yep. And
who knows, they may be issuing that level of mod tools for Final Fantasy 15, and if they are, man, there's capability of doing some pretty high-end stuff, and that's the stuff that really, I mean, that does excite me, the idea of somebody going in and making an expansion to Final Fantasy 15 within the same game engine.
Okay, I have a challenge for those modders out there.
Oh god, please don't make this a porn challenge.
No. In the game, there is a pseudo active time battle system. Make it a full-on active time battle system in there.
Oh my god, complete
with the ability to switch around to the different characters.
Oh no! I just want you to like break it out like Final Fantasy X, and just like camera stops, turn-based battle.
I mean, that would be interesting in itself, but it would be interesting if they could at least get to that point. I mean, that would be quite the challenge, and I would be interested in knowing if there were enough people still interested in that battle system who do mods that will try and do that.
That would sell. I'm dead serious when I say that would sell me the game again. I would totally play Final Fantasy VIII. I mean, Final Fantasy 15 again if it had active time battle. And here comes the harping asshole like popping in. They're like, you just do like you Square Games. You do like Final Fantasy.
What?
Somebody whining that I don't like Final Fantasy because I want it to be like old Final Fantasy.
There's nothing wrong with liking the old Final Fantasy. Hell, where people are sitting there hell-bent on getting a remake of an older one and got pissed off when they decided they weren't going to keep the whole battle system. The one that they themselves, bash. You know, whatever.
I don't know who these people are, but they should not be allowed to vote. That's extreme. I'm sorry. But seriously, fuck you people if you think that Final Fantasy VII's battle engine is bad. Although I did learn recently that there is a mod of Final Fantasy VII that actually retools some of the mechanics a little bit and makes it a little bit more challenging. And also apparently makes the magic worthwhile, which blows my mind because I thought the magic in Final Fantasy VII was amazing. The materia system in that game is spectacular, and anybody who disagrees is, you're not my buddy. Sorry. Some of the things that I can actually unequivocally say that game got right. But yeah, if there's too much porn, they'll pull support. So, modders beware.
I'm not worried.
Modders beware. Because... again, but the other thing that kind of strikes me as worrisome with that is that I'm glad that they would be willing to police their content a bit because, frankly, goddamn internet, you do some weird shit, and you should like go to your room and wash your goddamn hands. But then there's the problem of censorship. Like, I know that I think that all of the, like, really extreme Final Fantasy porn that Spoonie pointed out in that video is, in fact, extreme and really goddamn weird, and somebody has way too much time on their hands to come up with some of the shit that's out there. The nunchuck thing comes to mind. But that doesn't mean that people should not be free to kind of make that if that's something they want to do. If they have the capability and time to do so, they shouldn't be restricted from doing so. I'm not going to download it. I'm not. I am perfectly okay with Final Fantasy 15 being what Final Fantasy 15 already is. I don't need Luna like stark naked and choking herself with Leviathan's tail, and I don't know. I can't get much weird. I can't do all the weird that some of the people that have made porn of Final Fantasy can do. So let them do what they're gonna do, but I worry that it's that slippery slope sort of thing where you don't want somebody
I mean, honestly,
to do that.
I'm not really. That doesn't really concern me all too much. It's sort of like with Blizzard and you know,
Overwatch porn.
Overwatch. I mean, they don't care about the pictures that are made. They honestly could not care. But when you actually start taking the character models and somehow or another, I don't know how people do what they do.
Me either.
I think that regardless of what they're doing with them is still pretty. I'm like, that's pretty amazing. As a porn, but that's still pretty damn fucking amazing how you taken it looks like you literally ripped the character model out of the game.
Wait a minute, Brandon, did you watch this?
We've had this discussion before, and I mean,
I can't remember. I don't have an answer.
It was after Blizzard. It got to the point where Blizzard's like, okay, you know, yeah, you like our characters, but this is going too far. And I was like, what is too far? So I was like, I have to know. And after, I was like, wow. I was like, either somebody is a god at 3D modeling, or somehow or another people have developed a way to take character models out of a game and put them and do other things. And at that point, even if you let them in the game and started making them do weird things, at that point, I think you're going outside of the intention of modding, and you're doing things with an intellectual property that go outside the the scope of modding. You're essentially stealing their art and their stuff and doing other things with it. If you're actually, with pictures, you're drawing that yourself. You made that piece of art. That's different. This is not doing that. You're taking their stuff and doing it with it. And I can understand wanting to protect your
IP,
your stuff, your stuff to a certain degree. I mean, if I created, I know this is a bad example, but I remember with Dead or Alive, and the creator, he's like, I know, but these are my girls, and eventually there is a line that is, that is too far. You're going too far after you pass a certain line, and I don't want them, taken that far. And I can understand that they are still someone's creation. Someone made that. Someone came up with these characters, and I can understand wanting to protect that. So I wouldn't see it so much as censorship as just regulating, protecting.
Yeah. Okay, that's a fair point.
Because some people really do go too far. So yeah. But like I said, I think, but at the same time, I don't know what these people are doing. But if they're able to recreate these models to the degree that they do, they honestly shouldn't be making porn. They should be working for these fucking companies because, damn.
Well, I mean, if nothing else, Brennan, we know where their heart lies. Between their legs.
Hey, at least they're fans. We're talking about fandom. That's a weird type of fandom, but hey,
it's fandom.
If you took that much time into doing something, then you have to be a fan.
And one more note about Final Fantasy 15 before we leave Square alone for the evening. Yeah, I think we're leaving Square alone after this one. And we'll get back to the fandom conversation, because the fandom conversation continues for one more on this. They were actually trying to get Final Fantasy 15 to work on the Switch. Mm-hmm. And apparently the engine did not work very well as it originally existed on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and PC. Now that said, and this is the part where I feel like a lot of people have ignored the actual articles and they've just gone into a shit fit about how bad Nintendo is and whatnot. Even Tabata has said that they haven't tried to optimize the engine yet. Like, they haven't given up work on it, but they said that they have not optimized the engine, and no one should really say that it doesn't work just because it didn't work right out of the box, If they worked on it, it's still possible that there could be a port of Final Fantasy 15. And that is kind of hanging in the air right now, even though that wasn't originally a plan. And I feel like that the success of the Switch has driven the potential for an actual port, So that's just something interesting to watch. I'm not saying that that's a thing that will happen, but I'm going to hope it does, because Final Fantasy 15 on the Switch sounds like damn good idea to me. Even though
I would buy it.
Yeah, I would probably buy it again, as much as that would drive Joe crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I mean, I do have to mention once again, yes, that it's the perfect console for any big RPG like that. Although I do find it very disappointing that only 60% of people who bought the game finished it. That's pretty sad, because it's a very good game. Alright, so now I think it's time we do the last of the fandom stories on here. I have to mention that I do kind of want to play Star Wars Battlefront 2. I do. I like the one that I have enough that with a story mode Like an actual campaign, a single player campaign is pretty cool to me, and I would probably get a good use out of that game for $60. Because I've played Battlefront 1 online a few times, and I need to play it more because I think I still owe you another 8 hours at least, right? Isn't that the running tally?
You owe me quite a bit, yes.
Okay, so that said, me wanting the game and all, I'm not going to buy it from GameStop. I'm not pre-ordering it from GameStop because they have made the dumbest piece of tchotchke bullshit I've ever seen to market a game in my life. This actually somehow manages to top the oft ridiculed Assassin's Creed Black Flag plastic football from Best Buy. Wait, you don't remember me showing you this?
You could have, but it's been a long while now that I don't remember that.
At Best Buy, the pre-order bonus for Black Flag was one of those little tiny plastic footballs, but it has Assassin's Creed written on it. This tops that. So GameStop sent out their weekly ad this week. And I checked their ad because sometimes they'll do like a $10 brand new game that is pretty good, and I for $10 I'll buy a game that I thought was not worth paying $64, but I wouldn't mind playing. Like I did this for Gears of War Remastered and a couple others, and that's fine with me. I've got no issue paying $10 for a game. Sorry, I'm going to pause the game on the live stream to look this up because I have to go in and find this because it's I need to read these quotes. So for Battlefront 2, a Star Wars first-person shooter online thing, the pre-order bonus that is listed in GameStop's flyer this week is a free can cover, like a beer koozie,
Mm-hmm.
And that would be fine if it was a Star Wars branded beer koozie, because that's a cheap piece of shit that can be mass produced. Makes sense, from a marketing perspective. Wouldn't you agree?
Sure.
That, if you're saving money, and you want to try and spice up somebody's pre-order bonus, you get something they can stick their Mountain Dew in.
Yep.
But no, they didn't just make a little like a can koozie like that for that Star Wars. No, friends, they did not do that. These motherfuckers put NFL branding on it. So I guess I should now assume that Darth Vader is a New England Patriots fan, because one of these things has Darth Vader with his lightsaber out, standing next to the Patriots logo. And the other one that's in the ad, because I haven't been able to find pictures of any others than these two. I can't find news about this anywhere on the internet. Not even on GameStop's actual listing on their website is this thing on there. The other one is, you underestimate the power of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, and at the very bottom, it does say pickup can cover at pickup can cover that I fucking can't cover. Pickup can cover at time of pre-order. NFL teams vary by location, so all teams have one. It just depends on where you're at.
So if I go to my GameStop, I might get a Carolina Panthers one. So I underestimate the power of the Carolina Panthers.
I actually wonder what I kind of want a picture of all these, and just to see what they come up. Is it all the same? Is the underestimated power thing? Is that on the back side and the front side is Darth Vader thing, or are they all different? I want to see.
This is a fascinating question, and Brandon, frankly, you've got my curiosity piqued now. Do I want to put $5 down and spend $60 on this game just to know if it's what the Panthers one says?
Yes, you should get the Star Wars Panther beer koozie.
because Because that's a thing that Star Wars fans are like universally in love with is football.
I guess.
I'm not even knocking football right now. Like I get the appeal. I do. I don't particularly like watching football on TV because I think it's boring as hell to watch it on TV. I've been to a few games. I have a couple of like sports. I have a couple of football video games. My favorite is still NFL 2K1, so I'm an idiot. But whatever.
Hey, those games were fun.
Those were excellent football games. But that doesn't mean that I particularly understand the branding here.
No, I don't either. I mean, like I was saying before we actually started, you know, it's one thing if this is Call of Duty, because the type of player for that game is the more of the sports liking type of, you know,
those fandoms overlap a lot more, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, but here in Battlefield and Battlefront, I mean, there is some. I know of some players that do play a lot of Battlefield and watch football.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm disconnected with the fandom now for these type of games, and I just don't know. But it doesn't seem to me to be the type of game to attract both type. It doesn't seem to attract the type to me.
No, not at all.
I could be wrong, but you know.
Oh, I mean, hell, I could be wrong. I don't. I know that. I know plenty of my fellow nerd folk love football. Our buddy Jeremy is like a serious sports fan, and I mean that in like every way. Like he follows sports. He knows sports like I know prog rock. I mean, probably more so. So it doesn't surprise me that you know somebody could like Star Wars and football at the same time. But I think that even he would be like, what? Now that said, before we close this topic out, I want to tell you all the best comment. Whenever I post this to Facebook, the best comment I saw about this, my buddy Cody, he said, it makes sense to me. Both are something that people are huge fans of. It's better than Star Wars oranges. And he posted a picture of these bags of oranges that you could buy at the grocery store that have BB-8 on them. Now, I disagree with that because, think about it. Droid. Oranges. Orange droid. Star Wars oranges.
No. No.
But, look, it's a stretch. It's dumb, but, I mean, it makes a little bit of sense. But, I just, I don't think that, and I said I don't think that Darth Vader's a Patriots fan. And
that was funny. It's like, before I read that little bit at the bottom, you're like, you know, it's very presumptuous of them to think that everyone's either a fan of these two teams.
Yeah.
See, I kind of wish it was just those two teams. That would be a joke of its own. It would be great, but sadly, it's not that way. And I figured it was that way because I was like, it can't be. I mean, what sense would that make for the Dallas Cowboys and the New England Patriots to sponsor this game enough to give them beer koozies, custom beer koozies?
Now, I didn't tell you what Cody said to me though. He said that that Darth Vader is a Cowboys fan for sure, but the Emperor is totally a Pats fan. So yes, GameStop, you're dumb. This is dumb. It's definitely dumber than the plastic football with Assassin's Creed written on it, but it's the same kind of dumb.
Yeah.
I will still never understand what inspired the little black plastic football that says Assassin's Creed on it. I'm going to see if I can find a picture to send you, just because this thing is so very dumb. Oh man, I will never forget seeing that at Best Buy. It was I think I was there around the time of I think it was during the pre-order cycle for the PS4, and we were over there just kind of shopping for something. And I saw it, and I was like, what in the fuck? Okay, the NeoGaf post no longer has a picture.
Aw.
Lame. Hey, you know, I can always hit the images button on Google. Oh, yeah, here we go, Brandon. Oh my god, there's somebody trying to sell it on eBay.
Of course they are.
It's like... the utter death and end of this product. $0.99. They wanted to get their deposit back. Damn, I'm gonna have to open up Facebook and make my computer chug to send this to you. But oh man, it tickled me. It tickles me to see that the football continues to invade things that don't even relate to football.
Right.
Oh, lordy me. That one, that one is a little bit closer though, because Assassin's Creed has a much broader appeal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I swear Facebook has the most incredibly high demand.
They do for just a website.
Yes. All right, I sent it to you now. Enjoy.
I get this thing for $5. What does this have to do with football? I mean, a beer koozie is one thing. You know, I can, whatever. You know, that I can accept even if it's still silly. It makes no sense. It is literally like, you know, people who just make those little small footballs that people just print anything on. It's like you give those away just for advertising, but this is Assassin's Creed. It doesn't need this type of advertising.
Oh, but it does. It needs the black plastic football, or no one will ever buy it.
I guess not.
Look, clearly we are not marketing people, because what do we know about marketing? Oh, sports games. Sports. And you notice that you don't get the little black plastic football for pre-ordering Madden. Get it for pre-ordering Assassin's Creed. Oh. So in the realm of sports games though, because sports games, you know, we have FIFA 18 coming out for the Switch later this year. Brandon, are you gonna do your usual FIFA shtick? Do you want to get your FIFA shtick rolling already?
No, I have to wait for the right moment to chant the gloriousness of the FIFA brand.
Okay.
Because one does just not utter FIFA. It has to be, you know, said in worship and all praise.
Goddamn fucking worship.
Because it is the game of all games. It will make the Switch the highest selling console to ever grace the planet.
Okay, but do you think it will do this without all of the modes that are in the Xbox and PlayStation versions? Because
you
apparently,
should just be happy you're
apparently, Brandon, apparently,
we don't want it.
We just can't deal with all of those modes at once. We can't handle having all of those modes at once. According to somebody who, a spokesperson from EA said that people who are the Nintendo owners will be new to FIFA. That that it's impossible that they have ever played a fucking soccer game. And all of these modes that are in the other versions just can't do that yet. We have to ease all those things into the game. Do you still think it's the grand savior of the Nintendo Switch?
you know, he's probably right. It's kind of like, you know, narcotics. You know, you just can't go and start taking fentanyl. It will kill you. You have to gradually work your way up to the golden goose. You just can't have all that amazing awesomeness in one go. It will make your brains explode in the style of scanners. Just be happy that you're being graced with FIFA.
You couldn't even finish without having to chuckle, could you?
It is one of the dumbest things I've heard. They can't handle all of it at once. We have to work them up to it. Why? Because I can't fucking understand your fucking card game that I've been playing on other consoles. It's not like the people who bought the Switch are new to consoles. This isn't the Wii, you stupid motherfucker. This is, you know, a lot of people who bought this are Nintendo fans. They are the people who have, you know, the PS4 and the Xbox Bone. Fuck you, Microsoft. You know, it's those people who have went out and bought the Switch because we like the idea. And those people who have played sports titles have probably played FIFA or played some variation of a EA sports game because they're all the fucking same, just change out the sport.
Change the ball.
Because they all have the card game. They all have the story mode now. They're all the same. You're just changing the ball and changing the hoop. It's either a big gigantic rectangle or a small little circle or a big open field. You know, it's all the same. And to sit there and chant that bullshit that we can't handle it shows just how fucking pretentious you are, you stupid EA shitbag.
I don't even remember who it was representing EA or the game itself, but I don't care because, look, I've played one soccer game ever, and that was Virtua Striker for the Dreamcast. So I haven't even played a particularly great soccer game. And I wouldn't be very good at it if I did. I've never played PES, I've never played FIFA, no big deal to me, you know? I'm not that big on sports games. Although I did see that there's actually a baseball game on the Switch now. And I am thinking about looking up the reviews and maybe buying it because I haven't played a baseball game since the fucking Dreamcast.
Wait, the Switch has a baseball game?
Yeah, they do.
Like a digital only.
No, like it's
arcade-y?
No, it's like in stores, $30. Legit baseball game, and it's like actually a Major League Baseball licensed game. It's some.
That is not what I wanted, Walmart. Thank you. I searched baseball Switch and I get Switch Hitter Mustang Baseball, and it's got this half-naked man ripped to the T sitting on the front cover.
What?
That's not.
Your computer heard us talking about Final Fantasy porn and made a drastic assumption about you.
This was Walmart.
Your point is? Let's see. Let's see what the reviews are.
RBI Baseball 17.
Yep.
September 5th. Okay, let's look this up because
Ooh, ouch. Oh my.
Did it get bad reviews?
The only review I see so far is not good.
Who made this?
I don't know.
Who the fuck is You and I Entertainment?
Clearly not capable of making a good baseball game.
That's a horrible name, by the way.
What?
You and I Entertainment.
There's only one review on Metacritic, and it's a 3 out of 10.
Well, that's a no.
That's a shame, because I would have bought that. I actually have an RBI baseball game. It's for the 32X. of all things.
Maybe it should tell you something when your major news outlets for gaming don't review it.
Pretty much, yeah.
maybe you should be kind of cautious.
Oh, what a shame. I would have bought that over FIFA just because I hate EA's attitude.
Yeah, their attitude is really crappy. It might be just an excuse to placate people, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, as far as placating people, at least Rockstar is doing a better job at that, because Rockstar is actually going to be putting their first console game on a Nintendo console since their port of Bully on the Wii. And that's the HD remaster of LA Noire. Now, mind you, every console that's new is getting it as well, so I mean, no big shock really, but it's pretty cool that you can get LA Noire on the Switch when it drops this November, and at the same time as the other consoles. I mean, this is fairly new territory for Nintendo if you really think about it. No, that's it. You played LA Noire, didn't you?
Yeah.
Is this a game I should be interested in finally playing?
Maybe.
Maybe.
It was a good concept, and it was a fun game. But it was really a concept that needed more work, and it's kind of, it sucks that the studio basically doesn't exist anymore. Another one, so it's a fun, it's a fun tryout, and if you can, I wouldn't pay full price for it.
That's all you really had to say.
I mean, because it's not like the game has many. It doesn't have much replayability. Once you go through it, you've gone through it.
Right. Noted. I still think it's a good thing that this game is actually coming to the Switch, though. It's one of those things that the Switch needs in its first year to try and test the waters for games of that type on the system. Like more a mature rated game, something with some blood and gore in it, to see if it will sell on this console that is currently hinging its entire success on Nintendo titles. And I don't think I will buy LA Noire just because I've not played a Rockstar game that I liked since Grand Theft Auto 2. So I don't know. It's not going to sell to me just because I'm not the market. I'm not the right audience for it. Mm-hmm. In all seriousness. So, but I was wondering what your opinion on that was. Now, as for games that I don't understand, like I understand why we need LA Noire on the Switch, I don't understand why anybody thought that Animal Farm, the George Orwell novel, should be a video game. And what's more, an adventure-tycoon game.
That is still, it's like, that's really interesting.
Is it paying money for it interesting, Brandon?
I don't know. Maybe if it was cheap enough, like if I could. This is a PC game, I'm assuming.
As far as I know, I think it may also have consoles in line, but yeah, PCs.
On PC, if if I could get it on the Steam sale for like $5, I would give it a go. I mean, why not? The concept itself is, I'm like, I gotta see this be played. I have to see this for myself.
I don't know what this will be, because like I've read that book. I love that book. It's an excellent novel, and apparently the Orwell estate is actually behind this, and they're like, yes, they're going to treat this novel well. We're going to completely back what they're doing. Bring on the Animal Farm tycoon game. So,
did you read the article?
I did, and I'm not sure I grasp exactly how this is going to be a thing.
It might be one of the things that's just easier to experience than it is to play.
Yes, possibly.
I mean, to read about.
I mean, it's not the first time that classic literature has been turned into a video game. I mean, we got Dante's Inferno, which is basically a God of War clone set in hell. But this is different. This is very different. And I'm so curious, but at the same time I get the feeling that its eventual release is just going to completely pass me by and I won't know it's out. Because it also does not seem like the kind of game that's going to maintain any kind of visibility in like gaming news. Like, there's a game that's actually just come out from 505 Games that I want to buy, but I haven't decided if I'm going to wait for see if they'll do a disc release or not, because the studio doesn't even know. They actually respond to me on Facebook, and that was from Ovosonic. They made the game last day of June, and I really want to play that because it's essentially an adaptation of the song Drive Home by Steven Wilson, which, for those of you watching this and you don't know who Steven Wilson is or you've not heard Drive Home, go out and get you a copy of The Raven That Refused to Sing, because hell yeah, what an amazing record. I want to play that because it sounds like an excellent game, and the reviews that I've actually been able to come up with for it are stellar. But you know where I have not seen a single word about this game? IGN, Gamestop, any of your major news outlets. Going through N4G, I've seen like 2 articles about it, maybe 3. And that's kind of a shame, because the idea behind this game and the style of game that it is, because it's an adventure game. It's like an old-fashioned adventure game. But apparently it's an absolutely heartbreaking and beautiful story told in the form of an adventure game. And that song itself is not a happy song. I mean, hell, it's Steven Wilson. Of course it's not. So I think that the fact that this studio has been able to reach people with this game and actually maintain the emotional resonance that's present in Steven's music, that's pretty impressive. Which, by the way, Steven contributed music for the game as well.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's really funny seeing him talk about the game as well. It's like, I don't play computer games, but I watched somebody play it, and it was actually very good. He even went as far as to say that, yes, video games are art, and this is Steven Wilson, so damn right. You sold a guy who doesn't play video games. I wonder if Michael Ackerfeld's played it, because I know Michael Ackerfeld likes video games.
And that's why his prog education is hampered.
Yes, because he
spends so much time playing with video games.
Hey, it didn't hurt us. We don't know Steven Wilson levels of prog rock, but damned if we don't know some prog rock. Oh, but yeah, weird thing, Animal Farm the game. I keep killing these fish in this game, and I'm trying to not get experience points. Stupid mistake. Okay, we have 2 other story things left. I don't know how I want to approach one of them, but one of them makes me laugh like unholy hell. So, this is coming hot off the heels of Mark Laidlaw releasing the story of what would have been Half-Life 2 Episode 3, and what he was planning to do with the series in terms of writing the story. So, first off, I didn't realize this, but a lot of people blame Defense of the Ancients 2 for the fact that we haven't gotten Half-Life 3. A lot of people feel this.
Because it makes so much money?
Well, yeah, that, and, I mean, the thing I always blame is Team Fortress 2. Because I always see the joke, like, about hats. Like, getting hats for Team Fortress 2 is the way they keep making money. And like, they have all these designers and stuff making hats, and that's why there's no Half-Life 3 or Half-Life 2 Episode 3. But apparently there are a large number of people on the Steam page for Defense of the Ancients 2 giving it a bad review simply because there's no Half-Life 3. And I am about to pull this up, and we're gonna find some really good nasty reviews. It hasn't ultimately hampered the actual rating for the game because it's still at a 9 out of 10 on Steam, which I've not played but a single MOBA. I played League of Legends one time, so I know jack shit about what Defense of the Ancients 2 really is like in terms of playing it. So take this as a fact that I don't know. I'm not giving my opinion on the game right now. Okay, so the top article listed right now as I'm looking at it says, everyone raise your hands and give your energy so that I can uninstall this game and move on with my life. 1 thumbs up equals 1 energy. The next one is, do something better with your life. Don't make my mistake. And by the way, these are all posts from like the past month, just for note. Very toxic community. Time, Mr. Newell. Is it really that time again? That's a Half-Life reference. I know that that's I know that that's what that is. Half-Life 3 died for this. And there's also defense articles now as well, because one person says that Half-Life killed Half-Life. No, Valve killed Half-Life. Okay, here you go. And this is probably in response to the card game that was announced recently. Because it says, we want Half-Life 3. We got a Dota 2 card game. We riot. I thought that everybody had kind of calmed down on the whole Half-Life 3 thing. I mean, my wound is fresh because I recently finished episode 2. But apparently everybody else is still pissed as I am. Oh, wow. The oldest reviews on here are all the positive ones. So let's see, most recent, because that's where all the rage is happening apparently. Let's see if I see any more really good ones. Jumping on the review bomb bandwagon. We want Half-Life 3, not a fucking card game. Jeez. No Half-Life 3. Damn. Half-Life 3 died for this piece of crap. Wow. Half-Life 3 died for this hemorrhoid of a game.
Jesus.
Oh.
I take it people are upset.
Please, Half-Life 3. There's not even, there's very little room for error to see that that's what they're really complaining about is the lack of Half-Life 3. I was wondering if if this was just, assumption, but no. One of these people is so pissed off that he actually has played this game for 901 hours. And he still gave it a fucking not recommended review.
Good God. I can't imagine him playing any game for that much. That's a lot.
Well, I mean, how many times did you play Final Fantasy VII to the end?
Not enough to fill up 900 hours.
I'm trying to think of something I might have played for that long. And yeah, not even Final Fantasy VIII, as many times as I've played it, have I done that. Maybe, probably not even Super Mario Bros. 3. Probably not even, I mean, not 900 hours, but I know I've got at least 200 hours playing Star Fox 64 back in the day trying to get all the medals. I can't think of any game that I've played for 900 hours. I mean, I easily put 200 hours into Witcher 3. That's a game that I'm actually glad that the timer clock in it didn't work that well. Because I don't want to know. I would be very ashamed, I'm sure, of how much time I spent on Witcher 3. So this...
I'm not.
I mean, I say that from the point of view, like, I'm supposed to be an adult with a life and a job and marriage, so that's about it, though, because that game was really goddamn amazing. So, tell me this. Did you read the leaked story?
Mm-mm.
It was pretty interesting. Like, I would love to have seen that game actually finished. And I genuinely wonder why they haven't handed it off to somebody else to do it, since they clearly aren't going to. Although apparently I saw this in the Completely Unnecessary podcast, that apparently Valve is thinking about it now. I take that bit of information with all of the salt in about 20 of those little Morton canisters of salt. I don't buy it. I don't believe it'll ever happen. Would I play it if it did, though? Yes. Do I think it would make up for what happened at the end of Half-Life Episode 2? Probably not. Because it's been 10 goddamn years since that game came out.
Wow. It's a long time.
Yeah, it is, man. Like, franchises have come and died in that time. It should be embarrassing to Valve that they have allowed this to be the legacy of Half-Life. And I know it's kind of clearly it pisses off Mark Laidlaw if he went so far as to leak the entire script, basically gender swapping and name swapping some people, and that's about it. Just so that he could, and he even like had like this cheeky little comment about it. It was like, "Oh, you know, it's so funny to see you guys all so interested in this dream I had a long time ago with all the genders changed." He's like, totally not getting sued over that NDA. Thanks, guys. But no, I still want to play Half-Life Episode 3 or Half-Life 3, whatever you want to call it. But I'm interested also to see how that game would fit in today's game market, because Half-Life as a game design is so much different than first-person shooters are now. And I wonder if it would be reviewed as... I wonder if it would be reviewed in the same... with the same expectations of what we have in first-person shooters now, or if it wouldn't just be, oh, it's good because it's Half-Life 3, and we're going to love it because we waited 10 goddamn years, or 12, I guess, if they start working on it now. Oh, alright. Do you want to try and take a crack at explaining that last bit we've got?
It's a joke in the game. There's a joke in the game for South Park, the new RPG that's based on South Park, because the first one actually did really well and a lot of people liked it. But the new one, there's this joke that if you play a black character, the game gets harder. Now, when I first read that, it was a heading of an article, and I was like, what? I was like, there's some type of racial joke here, and my brain's not computing. But then when I actually went and read it, I was like, oh, it's a joke.
But is it? I saw a screenshot. Is it real?
It's an in-game. It's an in-game joke.
Okay.
But I was like, that it is sort of funny in a ha-ha, I'm going to hell type of way, but it's still... Well,
shit, Scalzi has even said, that Scalzi has the best way of explaining it of anybody. He, because I mean, I've seen this on his blog for years that he lives life on the easiest difficulty level, straight white male. So, and you know, and without getting too deep into the sociopolitics of it, he's right. I mean, there's nothing that people will be prejudiced against you if you are a straight white male in the grand sense of things. Like, look, somebody will not look at you and think a very specific thing. He is correct. I can't believe that they made it into a joke in a video game, though.
I mean, it's South Park. That's what they do. Whether or not one likes the humor in South Park, all of it is based on making fun of society and the things that we do, and that's just honestly, that is, I guess, one of the things that's going on right now. So it fits.
Oh, absolutely. I think the title's funnier though.
Oh yeah.
The fractured butthole.
At first, you're like, I'm like, what? And I was like, oh,
fractured
it's
butthole.
A joke. Of course, it's a joke.
And because it's South Park, it's a fucking poop joke. I mean,
yeah.
So that's my thing. Is like I don't know. Like I know that some of the humor is like smart and whatnot, but it's not my brand of comedy. My brand of comedy is what I shared on Facebook tonight to celebrate the fact that I got Jaffa Cakes.
You got Jaffa Cakes?
Yeah, man. Aldi's got Jaffa Cakes again.
Why the hell do they always have them when I'm not there? Well, God forbid they have them at the store when I show up to town. Well, yes, I know that I might get one or two, but maybe I would like to buy a few boxes and take them home.
To store them, because it's such a rarity to get Jaffa Cakes in the United States.
Why is it so hard to believe that we can like these wondrous orange flavored
delicious cakes? Goddamn snacks, man. Seriously, although I will tell you why, Brandon, and it breaks my heart. So I took a pack with me to work today, and I shared them with people because I want to induct people into the cult of the Jaffa Cake.
And nobody liked them.
Nobody liked them. They're like, oh my god, these are disgusting.
Like how are they disgusting?
They're delicious.
What about them tastes bad?
Nothing. That is the answer.
Literally nothing.
I
thought about buying one from Amazon. Because you get 36 for $25. I don't know if that's a good price. Sounds like a good price.
It's not. You can get it for about $7 actually if you go the right listing.
Well, here's one. Okay, yeah, there's one for $7.89 for 36.
Yep. That's the one you should buy. That's a pretty fair price. You have to wait forever, but they're still good when you get them.
McVitie's?
McVitie's, yeah.
Have you had those?
Yeah, that's the kind to get. That's the best Jaffa Cakes. Like the ones you get at Aldi are fine. They're good. But those are the best. The worst ones I've had are the ones that I got from Big Lots. Because Big Lots got like dollar packs of Jaffa Cakes. It's like one sleeve. And they're kind of stale tasting. Like the cookie part, like the little cake part's not that good. So yeah, like my sense of humor last night, whenever we got them there, I went to YouTube and I got the clip from Spaced of Simon Pegg going, "Oh my god, what is it? I got some Jaffa Cakes in my fucking pocket! Yay!"
And what's sad is like back then we had no idea what the fuck.
Not a clue. And it was when I was rewatching the show in Louisiana, I was like, I need to see what a Jaffa Cake is, and I looked it up and I was like, man, that sounds terrible. And I told Joe about it, I was like, I gotta get a box of these to try them. So she ordered me a box.
Jaffa Cake?
What's that?
Is it Jaffa Cake or Jaffa Cake?
Jaffa Cakes.
Jaffa.
Like Jabba, but with F's. God, I love Jaffa Cakes. And I love Spaced for introducing me to Jaffa Cakes.
I gotta order me some.
I mean, it's worth it, man. Like, you gotta wait for goddamn ever, but they're so good.
Get it as soon as September 25th to October 11th. Good God.
What's coming from Europe? I'm just, you know who I'm most mad about this and all this is that World Market, who carries a ton of McVite's products.
Do they not carry these?
They do not carry Jaffa Cakes. They carry so many McVite's products, but not Jaffa Cakes.
Did they carry any?
No.
What? What?
Because this country hates my snack tastes.
The point of World Market is to bring in popular products from other parts of the world.
Hey, at least they give me Fox Mints. I love Fox Mints. Fox Mints are good.
I wonder if Walmart has Jaffa Cakes.
You know, it's funny, Sean once told me that he'd seen Jaffa Cakes at Harris Teeter, but when we checked Harris Teeter, they didn't have them.
Boo.
I've heard they're at some Food Lions. Not my Food Lion, of course, but some Food Lions. But yeah, like 5 people, I was like, here, try it. It's so good. And they're like, oh my God, this is disgusting. It's like, what do you know?
You know, I'm very picky. And I don't see how how it could be considered gross.
Joe hates them.
They're delicious. I don't understand. I am a picky eater. Okay? And I love these things.
Oh. What is our podcast again?
Right now it's about goddamn Jaffa Cakes.
Hell yeah. Jaffa Cakes. Oh. Thank you again, Simon Pegg, for introducing me to Jaffa Cakes. There, I tied it back into fandom. We've come full circle.
Only here on Z-Trigger.
Yes, Z-Trigger brought to you by the lovely, amazing taste of Jaffa Cakes. Jaffa Cakes are so damn good. I need to savor them because I've gone through a sleeve sharing them with these ungrateful pricks. And eating the other half the sleeve myself. I've only got 4 boxes left because whenever they come to Aldi, Joe will buy me several boxes. The last time she bought a case.
Well, I mean, they are so rare, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, you can literally get them during German week at Aldi because they're a German company. And that's when she was on Facebook and she's like, Brad, it's German week at Aldi. We're going to buy you some Jaffa Cakes tomorrow. And I was like, Jaffa Cakes?
Greatest wife ever.
Yes, my wife is perfect because she buys me Jaffa Cakes. What has your wife done for you today, Internet? That's right, because you don't have a wife. You're trolling in a basement. Can't even finish this joke because I'm so hungry for a Jaffa Cake. Oh my. Well, anyway, I think that is it for the show this week. Do you have anything else, Brandon?
I don't think so.
Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, while you are going to Amazon to buy Jaffa Cakes or looking up to see if you have an Aldi in your area, we invite you to subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Facebook or Twitter at Z-Trigger Live, where you can find out when we release our shows, when we're doing things, and also tell us things you want to hear us talk about on the Z-Trigger podcast, or what games we should be live streaming in addition to Final Fantasy VIII, because we are trying to do more live streaming. In the meantime, just do those things and come back next week where we will be doing the Z-Trigger podcast as well as another episode of the Expanded Universe podcast where I may or may not finally review The Wise Man's Fear. I don't know yet. We'll see. I haven't decided if I'm going to review it. But until then, we will see you next time. Fare thee well from Z-Trigger.
Laters.
Alright, that was a very fun show. As loopy as it got, that was a very fun show. I just saw your fucking Facebook post too. I'll be sure to keep you if you by the time you get here. Although I am taking a box to my mom. Because my mom
Has she
also...
ever tried 'em?
Yeah, my mom likes them too.
Say. I don't see how people. I just don't see how one could not like it.
It was so funny. I took a box to my parents. No, actually, I took a sleeve. I took one sleeve of McVite's Jaffa Cakes to my parents' house. The last time Joe bought me some. It was right in the middle of one of the Aldi. I think my Aldi case, she bought me some. So, the next day she posted on my Facebook wall, "Why'd you leave those devil cakes in my house?" That killed me.
Why'd you leave the devil cakes at my house?
It's so funny.
Well, I mean, yeah, I could pay $7 and buy a box, or I could pay $12 and get it here in the States.
Oh, wow. That's actually worth it to not have to wait a month for your Jaffa Cake fix. Oh, my.
Oh, the seller just launched? Well, I mean, it is backed by Prime.
Well, that's a pretty good sign, at least. You know, I'm actually a little bit jealous of Jeremy. He's got an 8. I think it's a German market. No, it's not a German. He's got a market near him where he's able to just go buy Jaffa Cakes anytime he wants.
Damn.
I mean,
well, tell him to hook some brothers up. I mean, stockpile that shit.
Did you just say hook some brothers up?
Yes.
Brandon just got real damn serious about the Jaffa Cakes. Oh. Whenever I put together the title card for this episode, because I need to catch up my title cards for the Final Fantasy videos, I'm going to have to put a, like, brought to you by Jaffa Cakes tag on the bottom.
I mean, the last stream was brought to you by gratuitous symbolism, and this one was brought to you by...
Rated R for gratuitous symbolism.
You might not want to watch this, because there's overabundance of symbolism.
Too many symbols. No characters, all symbols. Oh, lordy me, I need to drag myself to bed. I have to work again tomorrow. I really don't want to work tomorrow.
I didn't want to work today. Thank God the day was not as busy as it has been, but it was still a little busy. Busy enough that I was like, I'm ready to go home.
Tomorrow my work day is going to consist of cleaning up the crap that I have too much of in my back room. And basically waiting for 5 hours to pass. I really don't want to go. Alright, I'm going to close out the stream here. As we said before, if you enjoy what we are doing here on our Z Trigger channel, you know, give us a subscription and you know, and follow us over on Podbean as well if you'd like. We have links all here on the site. Eventually I will move on in the plot of Final Fantasy VIII. I just feel like my characters are super weak right now and they don't have any junctions they can really do yet. And also I'm trying to raise enough money to buy tents. You know what? Let's see if I can afford some tents before I sign off, because tents are really good for HP and strength, because you can turn it into Curaga. That is too many bite bugs to screw around with turning them into cards. Oh, lordy me. I am feeling this complete lack of sleep lately. Be nice to have a week off work. I'll try and actually get another a couple of extra streams in that week that I'm off. see if we can get to the end of Disc 1 of Final Fantasy, because like if I can actually stop doing all the crap I'm doing, like grinding AP and playing cards, I could probably be to the end of the Disc 1 in a single sitting.
Nice.
Because it's such a short game if you're not doing that sort of stuff. 1,000 gil for a tent. Let's do 10. No, let's do 9. That's most of my money. And then we're going to refine that with the ability. Life magic. Tents into... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. It takes 10? Well, at least Squall's gonna have a lot of HP. Or strength or something. I haven't decided which yet. Junction. Magic. Strength. Curaga. And 2 HP will do water. Alright. There we go. I have finally done a thing in this game that makes sense. Again. I still haven't beaten Diabolos. I fought Diabolos during the podcast recording and he stumped me.
Yeah, that's why I hated dealing with that boss, because I can die.
No, that's a tough boss for this early in the game, but it's totally doable. I just wasn't able to do it yet because my attacks were so garbage. You know what? For the sake of entertainment, if you don't mind sticking around, Brandon, for a few more minutes of Z-Trigger fun, I'm going to try and fight Diabolos one more time tonight. Okay?
I bet it.
Alright. Let's heal everybody first with this stupid thing. Alright. I'm going to save because I think I just saved, but it doesn't hurt to save like 4 times in a row, does it?
I would think so.
And I just exited the damn menu like an idiot.
Asshole!
Yes, like an asshole. I need to get Joe to watch Beck, but we're in the middle of a few shows right now. We've been watching The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr., for example. Which, that show is so corny and charming, it actually hurts to watch. Kind of love it. I wonder how much HP Diabolos has at this level. Oh shit, I just had a chance to do Renzo Kuken and I didn't. Moron. Squall died because I am gambling with his HP. A bunch of little attacks with Zell and his limit break. end up gambling. Because if I can get Diablos, I can get no encounters as a ability. And that'll simplify things going into the rest of the game. Because I won't be trying to card everything to keep my levels low. Oh sweet, I beat him. Nice.
That was quick.
Well, I mean, I did Squall's Limit Break like twice. And I got 20 AP. Sweet. Alright, that's a nice closing moment for this episode of the live stream, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Well, thank you for sticking around. Alright, I'm going to save one more time and also set my ability I want him to learn because... Oh yeah, there's another boss I gotta draw a GF from at some point. Ooh, he's got hit junction and HP junction. Alright, well. Once again, thanks everybody for watching, and we will see you next time. Follow the channel to see when we're streaming next. We don't really schedule these because it's very hard for me to schedule things because my job is exhausting. But thank you for watching and good night.
Laters.